Good morning and welcome to Community Focus. I'm Faith Daniels, and today we have the pleasure of speaking with a gentleman that we had planned to meet prior to the COVID lockdown, and it just didn't happen. But we have the pleasure of being joined by the president and CEO of Dayton Live, Mr. Ty Sutton. Ty, welcome to Community Focus.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be on it. Like you said, we talked about doing this, and I'm sure we would have by now. But even though we're doing it this way, I'm glad we're talking.
And it's amazing because Dayton Live is a brand new name to us. And we're like, Dayton Live, that sounds so exciting and invigorating. And it sounds like lots of fun. It sounds like lots of shows. Tell us what it was previously and the transition.
So previously we were the Victoria Theater Association. And it's really interesting because we worked on this branding change for well over a year, and we made the announcement right as we got shut down. So we made an announcement. It was really exciting. We did announce our new season and a lot of great things. And then unfortunately, about 2 days later, received the mass gathering ban. And so we've been closed ever since. But the great news is people understand. They understand the idea. When I say Dayton Live, it's obviously we do something with live events here in Dayton. And for us, we own and operate lots of different buildings here in Dayton and lots of different programming. And so I think it's like, it's a name and a brand that's big enough to sort of encompass everything that we do. And so we're about 4 months in, and they've all been 4 months that we've been closed down, but that doesn't take away from the fact that people are excited and at some point we know we'll be back together, and it's a little bit of hope for the future.
Of course it is. And eventually we will find our seats in the Victoria. We will find our seats in the Schuster, and we will be at home once again. A number of the venues, we know the Schuster, we know the Victoria. Give us just a little peek at the PNC Annex. That was very new to us prior to COVID, and we saw some great things happen there. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so the PNC Arts Annex, it's a fantastic space. It's a new space. We just opened it. We've been open about a year and a half in that space. We opened the very end of 2018, and it's directly across from the Schuster Center. It's at Ludlow and 2nd. And really, it's our smallest space. And we use it for a lot of our education programs. And we're really excited because some of those programs are starting back up next week. We're doing camps, some youth camps. And so, we're finding ways to get back in the community, but we have a studio space that we can use for lots of different things. It's just a big open space with beautiful wood floors. Then we have a small theater. It's 199 seats, and it lets us move the theater around in different ways. And it's really made for a lot of our community groups, for local musicians and artists. And, we've been doing a lot of acoustic music and things. And so we're really looking forward to getting back to that space. So it's been a really exciting space to have because it's different than, the Schuster or the Victoria, which are these big grand spaces. It's really more about our local artists and local companies.
And it's such an intimate space. One of the things I love about that space, it has such an enveloping feeling. It's warm, but it's also big enough that you said 199 seats. That's still an awesome audience to experience spoken word, to experience an intimate concert. And, significantly, the Victoria and the Schuster have been consistent with giving us the big shows. And when I say big shows, you guys announced a season that was absolutely incredible. COVID came, but on the horizon is 2021. And 2021 is going to bring some great surprises for us.
It is, yeah. So basically, we looked at it all, and with our Broadway, partners and producers, we think the soonest we'll be back is January. The shows just won't be ready to go. But, and a lot of people have said, hey, will we really be ready in January? We hope so, but, that's still 6 months away. And if you think about this, we've been closed for less than 4 months. So 6 months is a long time, and people, a lot can happen in terms of medicine, in terms of vaccines and other treatment. And so we're optimistic, but I don't think any of us know exactly what's going to happen for the future. But if it's not January, then February, and if it's not February, then March. We will keep contingency planning, but we have announced the season starting in January, and we're excited about it. It has some great shows on it. So we kept the back half of our season, which includes Jesus Christ Superstar, fantastic version of that show that came over from London, and then a great revival of Fiddler on the Roof. And then a really small and beautiful show that won the Tony Award for Best Musical called The Band's Visit, a show most people haven't seen. It was done in a small theater in New York, but it's a really great story with fantastic music. And then we move from that to a huge blockbuster with Lion King here for 3 weeks during May, which, Lion King is still as relevant today and as beautiful today as it's ever been.
Absolutely. And let's pause right there for a second, because there are so many people that have watched Lion King movie, everyone that they've ever produced. They've even tried to get tickets to Lion King in the past in different cities. But with it coming right here to downtown Dayton, tickets, when are they on sale? Do we know?
So season tickets are on sale now. So if you want to buy the whole season, you can do that now, and you can go to DaytonLive.org, just like you see on the screen, and get all the information you need. Single tickets will go on sale sometime in the fall. We haven't announced dates yet, and with the dates changing, that's still a moving target. But
of course,
sometime after September 1st, probably closer to October, but we'll see. But with that show being in May, people have plenty of time to get tickets. But the best way to guarantee your seats is to go get a subscription. And subscriptions, we have payment plans available. They're actually more reasonable than people may think in terms of season pricing. There's discounts built in.
Yes.
And it's been crazy because we announced this new season, and it also includes 2 additional shows after Lion King. So one that I'm really excited about, one of my favorite Broadway shows of the last few years, is a show called Dear Evan Hansen. And Dear Evan Hansen has amazing music, and it's a really contemporary story. It's a story of our times. It's a story for our youth, for our teenagers, and it's about social media, and it's about, I think, some of the pressures that teenagers face now that I didn't when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s. And
That's true.
Things that I can't even begin to think about, like I put something on social media and it went viral all of a sudden, and it's everywhere, and I can't do anything about it. But some of my favorite music that's ever been done in musical theater is Dear Evan Hansen. If you haven't heard it, it's beautiful. I think for a lot of our teens, they're way more excited about Dear Evan Hansen than any other show we have.
Absolutely, because it really connects to where they are. It connects to where they are, where they exist, which literally is in the palm of their hand, on the phone, or on a desktop. And it really brings, and I love this about it, how it connects theater. And we've said this all, life imitating art, how it really connects the two of them in a way that our teens can really feel empowered and feel that they have a voice in, like, that could be me, or that was me. And I think that is awesome to bring theater and real life social media together in something like that.
Yeah, it's just really a fantastic show. It won 6 Tony Awards, including Best Musical. So actually, we have 2 shows on the season that were both Tony winners for Best Musical, The Band's Visit and Dear Evan Hansen. That's very rare for us to have 2 new shows that are Tony winners for Best Musical. So we're really excited about that. Dear Evan Hansen is a huge show. It sells out everywhere it goes. So we were really lucky to get that show as soon as we did, and to be able to add it. So that's June of 2021. And then we'll close that season, which really will all happen in about 7 months. We'll close that season with Anastasia in July. And then we also made another huge announcement. And that is that in our 21-22 season, so our season that will run from the fall of 21 through the spring of 22, we haven't announced the actual dates yet, but we have announced that Hamilton will be coming here to Dayton for 2 weeks. And so we're really excited about that as well. And Hamilton, Hamilton is everywhere right now, with it being on Disney Plus as a film. And, some people have said to me, well, I saw the film, and I loved it, but I could just watch the film. Let me tell you, the film is great. But I've had the opportunity to see Hamilton with the original cast. I've had the opportunity to see Hamilton on the road and really early on, as it was workshop. So I'm really familiar with the show. Um, and it is such a different experience in a theater, the way it was written to be
I'm
performed than the
sure.
film. And
Yes, well,
so,
let's talk about that. How
yeah.
excited are you? How can you keep your composure to know that in that season, Hamilton is coming right to Dayton? And I'm so geeked about this because my son and I watched it together because we couldn't get tickets in Cincinnati. We couldn't get tickets anywhere close and drivable. And of course, we were not going to New York to check it out. But for it to come right to Dayton, we checked it out on Disney Plus. And the first thing he said at the completion of it was, I have got to see that live.
Yeah.
Let me start saving now. Let me do what it takes. And then when I got the announcement that it was actually coming to Dayton, our house has just been all a buzz about Hamilton coming to Dayton.
It's, for me, it's the accumulation of a lot of work. So, I arrived in Dayton. I took over as president CEO a little less than 2 years ago, and I've worked with Broadway shows for a number of years. I've run lots of different performing arts centers. This is the 5th performing arts center that I've run. And so, for me, it was a goal to get Hamilton here. And so you start the work of working with producers and dates and changes and how we fit in terms of how large we are. And one thing that we have going for us in Dayton, and I say this all the time, is we have world-class venues. I've run these. I've run brand new performing arts centers. I built them. I built a beautiful building in Texas, but I'll put the Schuster Center up against any of them. And
absolutely.
And if you've been around the country, you realize what a gem we have. The performers love it. The companies love it. The patrons love it. It's just a fantastic building to see a show in. And so as we worked through this, I think it was just getting people excited about the idea of coming to Dayton. Promising them that our audience would respond, that we would sell every ticket, which we know we will. And the response has been amazing. I mean, we've sold hundreds of season tickets in the last couple of days. I think it's just, it's a ray of sunshine when things are a little gray right now. And so,
absolutely.
And it's also far enough off that we all are really confident that we're going to be back together. And so, I am excited, trust me, but this is also what I do for a living. So every day I'm out chasing shows and I am super excited. I'm also super excited about Dear Evan Hansen and Lion King and even some of our really smaller shows, The Band's Visit. I love that show. And I know a lot of people go, I don't know what that show is. Well, that's okay. Part of my job is to bring things here that you do know, the really big ones that we can scream about, and also the little ones where you're like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. And
I love that. I love that about your organization. It is just that way. And it gives the quote unquote non-theater goer an opportunity to sample things that traditionally they would not buy tickets to, not because they don't like it. It's just because they're just not educated to what a particular piece is all about. More importantly, if you're not a seasoned theater goer, you're going to go to the big shows because you quote unquote know those. But with the Schuster, it's always a wonderful experience every single season because you offer smaller shows that really fit an eclectic audience that allows everybody to get something. And right here is a great time to get season passes, season memberships, because that really helps you enjoy it that much better than on a show by show basis when you buy your membership.
Oh, I agree. And and sometimes that's taking a risk and you're going to see things you don't like. It's like, we go to movies and we go with our spouse or friend or whoever, and some of us love them and some of us don't. And I think that's okay because art, whether it invokes an emotion of, laughter, sadness, joy, that's the job. And you're not going to love everything you see. And that's actually a great thing about theater because that helps us understand, well, I love this or I didn't love this. And I think part of the commitment that this board made, at the time I took over, it was the Victoria Theater Association board. And I knew we had an identity problem because we're a lot bigger than the Victoria Theater. And it's a fantastic building. and we all love the building, but it didn't really communicate who we are. And so this idea of Dayton Live, of it expanding to, include ballet and opera and symphony and Broadway and concerts and music and comedy and film events and everything that we do, I think is much more relevant to this community about who we are. And when I talk about
You
art, I'm
hit that
talking about
right.
all of it.
You hit
And
that right on the head. Absolutely, you did. Because everything that happens in your venues is absolutely electric and electricity. It's live. And
yeah,
the idea, and I'm not to say what was going on before, didn't say that, but the Victoria Theater Association, I thought I had to put my tall shoes on and practically a bonnet every time you hear that. But it is an evolution of what your organization has grown to be. And it has grown to encompass so many things that I think the change to Dayton Live was absolutely perfect. And
oh,
it
thank you.
fits everything that you do, because everything there is live. The live, and live, maybe not from everything you see is a live performance, but even your employees are electric. Your venues, your ticket sellers, they're all embodying the passion of what Dayton Live is. And you've done a great job being able to make that happen. It's
Oh,
incredible.
thank you. Oh, that you're too kind. But I think you're right. I mean, we bring people together and we can't do that right now. And it's so painful, but we know we'll get back. I'm actually here in the Victoria Theater today in my office. And, this building is 165 plus years old, or sorry, 155 plus years old. And it's seen pandemics, it's seen wars, it's seen floods, it's seen fires. And, Dayton has always brought it back because people want to be together. And so, we're moving forward with a commitment to diversity in programming, to equity, to inclusion. Things like the Arts Annex are a real statement from us of bringing our community to us. And I'm talking about in terms of genres and what people enjoy and the different parts of this community, that they are all welcome in these buildings. I don't want anyone to say, oh, that's not for me. Our job is to find something that's for everyone. And that's what we're committed to do, to work with all of our different artists and all of the people in this community. And so as we move forward as Dayton Live, I think the commitment to that is stronger than ever. And we want people to come and have fun. Life is tough enough, as we all know. So when we can get
Absolutely.
together again, we want people to come and party and have a great time in our venues, and hopefully they'll do that. But having shows like Hamilton makes it a lot easier.
Well, I tell you, with the announcement of Hamilton coming to Dayton Live, it is one of the biggest things that's happening in Dayton. And it does give us hope. It does give us excitement. And it does give us a huge show to look forward to. Now, I do encourage you to log on and definitely get those season tickets. The reason why is because Ty said it best. You're going to see a variety of shows and you're going to say, I don't think I like that. You won't know until you go. That's
Yep.
the only thing I can tell you. You won't know until you go. And it's a wonderful way to get the children engaged. We have to be apart right now, but we will be together soon. I promise. And I am so excited about us seeing Hamilton together, and it will happen. Ty, thank you so much for joining us today on Community Focus. Uh-oh, did I lose you? Well, Ty, it's been our pleasure having you on Community Focus. If you've missed any portion of this interview, you can check back and get it right here on 92.1 WROU.com, or you can get it on our Facebook page at 921 WROU. I'm Faith Daniels. Enjoy your day.